Okay, I'm going to try to keep this one quite short because talking about how much you hate Coldplay is almost as boring as Coldplay itself. All the jokes have been made, it's completely overdone, and at this point I just like that other people like them. I realise that Coldplay is not the band for me, but I totally dig the fact that millions of people love them, millions of people go to their concerts, and a lot of people get stuff out of their music in a way that I don't. It's not that I'm chomping at the bit to take this band down, I kind of nothing them, with the exception of one song, Viva La Vida, which came out in 2008 and is perhaps the most 2008 song ever. As soon as I hear the first bars to this, I'm transported back to where I was back then, and I do think this is a genuine certified bop every single time it comes on, whether it's at home on the radio or at a club at 3 a.m. I will be vibing to it because it hits different from all of their other songs, and I don't know why. I can't go into why the lyrics or the production or anything like that are better for me, because I've tried enjoying this song so much. I've tried listening to the album it's from and a few of their other albums as well, but they just don't hit in the same way. So I can't really explain to you, which might make for a bad entry, but I tried to do some research just to figure out why this hits in a way that the other songs don't, and the only thing I could find is that people love waking up to it on a morning. Apparently it's one of the most popular things to wake up to. I've never woken up to it, but that's got to have some kind of scientific basis in something, perhaps, and that's the only way I can explain why I like it so much, because it's not that much different to the rest of their discography, and yet it's an absolute banger, isn't it? And I really like it. And I watched them do it on the NPR Tiny Desk a few months ago, and it got even better. It's like a fine wine, it gets better with age. Maybe Coldplay gets better with age. Maybe in another 10 years' time, I'll come to like the band and I'll look back in this video and think, what were you missing out on, Josh? Probably not, but, you know, who knows?
I'm gonna catch holy hell for this, but the band hate's a strong word. The band I can't get away with is Metallica. And I know you should never really say that on the internet, because whatever it is you like in life, you do not like it as much as Metallica fans like Metallica. They are the Harry Potter fans of metal, but sorry, just not for me. I don't get it at all. Just a couple of old lads dressing like they're extras in Sons of Anarchy, and they're on stage going like, the anger is inside of me, and I'm just like sitting there, and all I can hear them saying is, how do you do, fellow kids? Wow! But that being said, their cover of Whiskey in the Jar, Thin Lizzy's Whiskey in the Jar, is absolutely brilliant. It absolutely knocks the original out of the park, because instead of like them pretending they're old and still work at the chopper shop, it's just like middle-aged men doing what middle-aged men love most, and that is pretending that they like whiskey. So I love that song. I love that song.
Right, now, a song I love by a band I hate was a pretty easy title for me, because it came to mind straight away as a song I've resisted for many years, or attempted to resist, that has wormed its way in anyway as a certifiable bop, a certifiable banger, a certifiable tune, dear watchers, and that is This Charming Man by The Smiths. It's undeniable that it's a good song at this point, really, isn't it? It is just great. And I'm just not a fan of The Smiths or their back catalogue at all, and that's largely to do with my experiences growing up and going to the indie club all the time, and I really don't like indie music in the slightest. This Charming Man to my ears was like, oh, pain, get it away. And this one club played all the Smiths, all Oasis, all like Manchester music. Britpop was just in its veins. It was that specific crowd of people. And there's lots of people watching this who'll go, ooh, sounds like my perfect night. That's great. Not for me. I hated it. I like to go to the creepy Grebo club down the road where they just play Metallica and other things that are good. Mostly pop punk, it's mostly Fall Out Boy. I say Metallica like I go to the Metallica room. I don't. I go and listen to Fall Out Boy upstairs. But I'd rather be there than in this club. And this club, I used to go to it with my friends because I love them and I want to dance with them and have a nice night. And This Charming Man would come on and I'd go, oh no, I'm going to go outside. And they'd go, oh no, we're going to have a dance, Ash. And make me dance to it. And it came across me as a great song. But everything else about that club, and every other song that I heard in there, was bad, and I hated it. And there was so many Gallagher fringes looking at me, looking around the room, fringe here, fringe there, fringe everywhere, that just any of that sort of music, any of the bands associated with this club, I want nothing to do with. I want them nowhere near my ear holes. So the Smiths has been branded with this no-go zone for me. And also Morrissey's a little bit insufferable as well, isn't he? I think that's fair to say. And I can't stand anything to do with these other bands. I've heard them too much. I've danced to them too much. I do not want to dance. My feet have to move for my friends. And it's enough. This Charming Man I will allow, because it is good. Everything else is very bad. And that is my wise and sage knowledge coming to you.
What song do I love from a band I hate? I don't actually hate that many bands, and the bands that people tend to come out and say, oh, I hate them, like Coldplay and Creed and Limp Bizkit, I actually like all of those. But I do dislike some. I dislike Coheed and Cambria, which tends to get me a lot of criticism, but I don't care. It's just not for me. And Him, fronted by Billy Vallow, I really, really am not a fan of him. Or him. And I get a sort of visceral reaction when I hear their music, in that I just want to punch Spotify and not just turn it off. But there is a loophole that allows me to enjoy one of their songs, and that is that they covered a very good song and actually did it very well. It's Chris Isaak's Wicked Game, which is one of the most covered songs of all time, because it's quite an easy song to cover. And appropriately here, it's really good for sort of whiny, nasally, sort of drippy voices, because it's about love and loss and sort of being a victim of love, and that really, really fits Billy Vallow's voice for this cover song. And I genuinely, against all of my better judgment, really enjoy the song. So congratulations, you've turned me. But I won't listen to any of your other songs, ever.
Song you love by a band you hate. This is so cliche, but I don't really hate a lot of bands and artists. Like, I think you reach a point where you've just got to accept, like, man, if you think something sucks, just accept that it's not for you. You don't need to hate something that wasn't made for your ears. And my ears are very big, so I know what I'm talking about. That being said, I think the closest thing I have that fits this category is probably the song Throne by Bring Me the Horizon. Bring Me the Horizon have never appealed to me in any way. I've been a big metal fan since I was a teenager, but you know, during their deathcore years, it really wasn't quite what I was looking for. I saw them live supporting The Haunted and Killswitch Engage when I was young, and it just, I don't know, it was very unpleasant, and there wasn't really anything that appealed to me. And then they evolved, and now they're like a lighter, poppier band. I'm not one of these guys who thinks they sold out or anything. I'd say, hey, good for you. Adapt, you know, find a new way to appeal to a wider audience, make your money, make your records, and adapt your business plan. But none of their songs have ever appealed to me beyond Throne, which is, I don't know, man, there's just something about how urgent and fast and propulsive that song is. It gallops forward at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's the right kind of anthemic without coming off overly cheesy. And I know it's got the and all that stuff in it, but man, it's just a rush. It's an adrenaline rush of a song. It's great in the gym. Lyrics are stupid and not very good, but you know, other than that, it's a really tremendous blood pumping track from a band I don't typically enjoy. You know, if we were to look into bands that I hate, I mean, you can talk about Creed if you want, but do I really hate Creed? They're kind of too funny to hate, right? As kind of crap as they are. Let's go with Throne. It's the only option.
So there's not many bands that I actually dislike actively, but there's always been one that has always sat with me, and that is Talking Heads. I've never ever really been a fan of them, and David Byrne just didn't sit with me at all. His voice to me sounds like an uncle trying to learn the karaoke machine kind of thing. It's just very odd vocal style. But there was one song which I never actually realised was them, and that was Road to Nowhere. And then when I found out it was them, I was like, oh, this kind of fits this Chatty Faces really, doesn't it? The music video is unbelievable. It's just hilarious seeing David Byrne run at the bottom right corner for the entire 3 minutes. And then just the composition and the song in general is just really, really good. And in researching for this Chatty Face, I decided to actually just go through the discography of Talking Heads to see if I falsely believed that I didn't like them. And it turns out that is kind of true. They're not actually as bad as I first thought. And I've seen him play that song live now, David Byrne. And once again, it's actually pretty cool seeing him play live with all those chains wrapped around him whilst he plays. And it's just incredibly, incredibly cool song. And not going to lie, it's actually quite a cool band. And I regret saying that I hated them for all my life, because they're actually not that bad. And here we are.
Okay, so for my one, you know, it's hard thinking of a band that I hate, but I love the song. Because if I hate the band, I'm not going to listen to the song. So I've got to go for something where I hate everything the band represents, but I'm not going to lie. I've got a handful of this band on my playlist. And it's Nickelback. And everyone's got a bit of Nickelback. You know, everyone sings a bit of Photograph, everyone sings a little bit. I mean, name your song. If Rockstar comes on at 3 a.m. in your, you know, rock club of choice, as I mute my laptop, you're going to sing it. And they've got some horrible stuff. And you look at any of the music videos and it's like, Chad, what are you doing, mate? There's no reason to be as, you know, bouffanted up as you are. But he's got the jams. He writes the jams and you can't deny them. So whether it's a song called Something in Your Mouth, which is literally just about him saying that he thinks women look better with things in their mouth, or, you know, Rockstar or Animals or whatever, he's got some absolute slammers. So I'm gonna go with Nickelback. They're absolutely awful, but I've got a lot of their stuff. I've pretty much got all the albums apart from the one that has Flow Rider on it, because I had to draw the line somewhere, and if I'm gonna draw the line somewhere, it's Nickelback with Flow Rider. But Something in Your Mouth though, slammer.